Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. And boy, oh boy, do I have good news for you. Donald Trump is putting America first while he's out there slapping China, slapping the European Union, putting the Ukrainian cocaine-addicted dictator, unelected dictator in his place in the Oval Office. See, Zelensky used to come to the United States, run around here with his propaganda tours and go home with tens of billions of dollars. Well, there's a new sheriff in town. There's a new president who puts his country, his people first. Not the Ukrainians, not the Russians, not the Chinese, nobody. America first, ladies and gentlemen. And Trump today is coming out with more bold moves against the European Union, against China, and against every single nation, oligarch and business worldwide that has been taking advantage of the American economy and the American people. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Do me a huge favor, smash that thumbs up button right now. Make sure that you are subscribed with bell notifications on and leave me a comment. Where are you watching me from? Happy Saturday, Scott. And before we continue, a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's live, that is Verity Metals. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Trump golden era. Well, now is a good time to get your hands on some constitutional gold and silver like this 1 ounce American Silver Eagle. And Verity Metals will be more than happy to give you free silver when you call or text 480-717-9081. Links down below in the description, and tell them Vlad sent you. Get you some free silver. Call them. See what they can do for you. Now, here's what I want to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen. Now, here's how it's going down. First up, Trump's tariff takedown. He's dropping a 10% tariff bomb on China. Boom. And he's not stopping there. Why? Because they've been screwing us with high taxes on our goods while flooding us with their junk. Trump saying, not anymore. Supporters are fired up. 67% of Republicans are in line per Pew Research. This is about American jobs, American steel, American grit. The globalists are crying, but MAGA is cheering. Then there's the border. Trump's immigration crackdown is in full swing. Deportation flights are rolling like the one in Guantanamo. $4,600 a head, worth every penny to secure our country. He promised it and he's delivering it. Illegals are out, the borders are locked. Classic Trump. The left's whining, but who cares? This is what we Trump supporters voted for. Trump's proving 2025 is the year of winning big. Tariffs, borders, and a big middle finger to the haters. Even in his Oval Office showdown with Zelensky shows he's not backing down globally. Ladies and gentlemen, this is amazing. Now, I want to share a couple things with you. First thing is first. I want to show you this from the BBC. Trump says United States will impose additional 10% tariffs on China. Donald Trump said he planned to hit goods from China with a new 10% tariff, the latest salvo in the U.S. president's steadily escalating trade fights. Imports from China already faces taxes at the border of at least 10% after a Trump tariff order that went into effect earlier this month. China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs said it's strongly expressed its dissatisfaction and resolute opposition to the tariffs. Listen to this. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. I watched a podcaster from Germany. He speaks in English, but he's out of Germany. I believe this was like 4 days ago, on Tuesday or Monday, whatever. But he said, if I was an American, he put himself in America's shoes. He's like, I would be doing what Trump is doing. And then he went down a list that you can find on the European Union's website for us to ship American grain to Europe. It is 150% tariff to ship it in and then you got to pay taxes on the back end. For European Union grain to come into the United States, they pay 0 in tariffs. They just pay taxes 6, 7, 9% on the back end. For an American car to go to Europe, it is 250%. It is 200% tariffs on the car, then taxes on the back end. For European cars to come into America, 0 tariffs and just a couple percent taxes on the back end when it is sold. Does that sound like it's reasonable to you? Does that sound reasonable to you? Now, I'm going to show you something else. Going on Google, Trump tariffs EU. Watch this. I want to show you this video of Trump talking about tariffs to the European Union.
Mr. President, have you just made a decision on what level you will seek on tariffs in the European Union?
We have made a decision. We'll be announcing it very soon, and it'll be 25%, generally speaking, and that'll be on cars and all other things. And European Union is a different case than Canada, different kind of case. They've really taken advantage of us in a different way. The European Union was formed in order to screw the United States. That's the purpose of it. And they've done a good job of it, but now I'm president.
What will happen if these countries or the EU retaliate?
They can't. I mean, they can try, but they can't.
China did. They
They're
imposed
pledging to,
tariffs
sir.
that went into effect. China's retaliatory tariffs on the 10th of February. Has there been any impact that you've been able to observe?
That's right. No, they can do it and they can try, but the numbers can never equal what ours, because we can go off. We are the pot of gold. We're the one that everybody wants, and they can retaliate, but it cannot be a successful retaliation because we just go cold turkey. We don't buy anymore. And if that happens, we win.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? We finally have a president in the Oval Office that is putting you first, whether you're a supporter of Trump like I am, or you hate Trump. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter. If you're a citizen of the United States, he is thinking about you. And he's thinking about you in the long run, not just in this short form, for the next 6 months. He wants to build relationships where we make money. Okay, you guys are making money off us. What about us? What about us? No country in the world can survive without the American consumer. China knows it. Europe knows it. The European Union knows it. Everybody knows it. Without the American consumer and the American market, no country can survive. But let me take you a step further. What is Trump doing and we're going to, so where was this? Oh, there. Here we go. Trump says he will introduce 25% tariffs on autos, pharmaceuticals, and chips.
Maybe your plan.
No, it's an ad. Okay. I'm going to read this to you. So Trump said on Friday, this was actually a week ago, on Friday, that auto tariffs could come as soon as April 2nd, the day after a review by his administration of options for a range of import taxes is due to be completed. The president has long criticized what he calls the unfair treatment of U.S. auto exports in foreign markets. For example, the European Union collects a 10% tariff on vehicle imports. That's 4 times the U.S. passenger car tariff rate of 2.5%. However, the United States collects a 25% tariff on pickup trucks from countries other than Mexico and Canada, a policy which helps keep pickup trucks a profitable segment for U.S. automakers. See that right there, ladies and gentlemen? That man right there is fighting for you. He's fighting for your children. He's fighting for your freedom. He's fighting for your financial prosperity. But ladies and gentlemen, where was this? Okay. I got more good news, and this one actually has to do with Ukraine. White House announces no more blank checks to Ukraine without a peace deal. Here we go.
Joining me now, Caroline Levitt, White House Press Secretary. Caroline, you were in the room where it all happened. Take us inside that room for a moment, would you? And then please tell us what you believe the president will say in response to what Zelensky said on Bret Baier's show.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me, Laura. And it was incredibly tense in that room, and things turned bad and bitter very quickly because, unfortunately, President Zelensky refuses to recognize the pragmatic reality about the war that his country is facing. This war has been going on for years. His countrymen are dying. And most of all, President Zelensky failed to recognize that he's walking into the Oval Office with a new sheriff in town. And that sheriff is Donald Trump. And he is a peacemaker in chief. He wants this war to end. And he understands that his people, the American people, are sick and tired of footing the bill for this war to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars. And so it's very unfortunate for the Ukrainian people and for President Zelensky that he walked in with this mindset of give from the American people without much gratitude for what the American people have done for his country over the past few years. And so he was on the brink of signing an economic agreement that would have ensured economic prosperity for the Ukrainian people and recouped American tax dollars for funding this war. Instead, because of his rude and antagonistic ways, the deal blew up in his face. President Trump wants peace. He remains committed to that. But President Zelensky either needs to change his attitude or perhaps he can't make a deal at all.
Well, Caroline, we're hearing different narratives tonight. But is President Trump in the mood at all to revisit this mineral deal, given what happened earlier today?
Well, I think the president remains committed to peace and he wants to see this war end. That has been the president's intention all along. Don't forget, he talked about this extensively on the campaign trail as soon as he was elected on November 5th, before he was even inaugurated. He talked to Zelensky. His team started negotiations to end this war. And more has been done in a month by President Trump and his team to move towards a tangible and lasting peace than the previous 3 years under the past administration.
I'm sorry to interrupt. But Caroline, I'm talking about the deal. Of course, you were all set up. You had the table set up, the room set up to sign that mineral deal.
That's right.
And what now?
Well, we'll have to see. And it's up to President Trump, the next move that he makes. But I think he made it very clear today in asking President Zelensky and the Ukrainians to leave the White House that Zelensky is not in the right mindset. And again, the minerals deal was an economic framework, and it was the first step towards a peace deal. But Zelensky came into the Oval Office talking about security guarantees, talking about what Europe wants to do. Well, the president has been talking to Europe, too. He had the leaders of France and the UK here this week precisely to talk about how to end this war. And so, again, it's unfortunate circumstances for President Zelensky, but the president is not going to back down in doing what's right for the American people. And that's what
I just got a stupid comment right here. We wouldn't have to send aid to Ukraine if Russia hadn't decided to violently invade their country. But you won't ever hear a Republican blame Russia because they've been trained not to do so. We wouldn't have to send aid to Ukraine if Obama and Biden did not sponsor an illegal coup that was funded by USAID and Victoria Nuland back in 2014 and overthrow a democratically elected government and president of Ukraine. And then we wouldn't have to send funds to Ukraine or aid to Ukraine if Ukraine was not killing their own people in east of Ukraine starting March of 2014. We wouldn't. Also, if Ukraine would have kept their word and fulfilled their deal, because there was in 2017 and in 2019, the Minsk Accord signed, and the only one that broke their side was Ukraine. You're talking to somebody who has family living in Ukraine. They all hate Zelensky. They can't stand him. He kidnaps young men to go fight in a war that they don't want to fight in. But of course, Democrats are trained to never talk about that. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right there. You heard it right there. No more checks. Trump stopped all foreign funding and all weapons shipments that were promised by Biden. They stopped as of last night. So Trump has paused significant portions of United States development aid to Ukraine. Well, he stopped everything. No more money. So Trump is fighting for the American people on 3 fronts. And for anybody that says we have to go and send aid or help, in the Congo, 6 days ago, last Sunday in the Congo, while 70 men, women, and children and elderly, the total number was 70 people, sitting in a church service, worshiping God, a group of Islamist extremists ran in there with machetes and unalived all of them. The women, the children, the elderly, the men, all of them. If you don't believe me, Google it. Why aren't we sending aid over there? Think about it. But Trump is fighting on 3 different fronts for all of us, ladies and gentlemen. He's fighting on the front with China, the European Union, and the dictator and thief Zelensky. On all these fronts, he wants to end the wars and he wants to make money. He's a businessman. He doesn't care about other stuff. He wants to. And what I love most about Trump, when these world leaders meet, and I'm going to wrap it up with this, we got to stop Putin. We got to stop Putin. None of them say we got to stop the death of Ukrainians. We got to stop the destruction of cities. We got to stop the death of Russians. We got to stop we're going towards World War III. You guys know that Trump is the first leader in the last 3 years to stand there and say, you're playing with World War III? Fact check me on this. Trump is the first one to say you're playing with World War III and lives of millions of people. I like that Trump is restructuring who our friends and who our allies and who our enemies are. Our real enemies are sitting in the European Union, in Ukraine, and China. They're not, even China's not as big of an enemy to us as the European Union is. Has China ever stolen anything from you? Have you sent aid to China and then it disappeared? Have you sent weapons to China and then they sold it to the cartels in Mexico? But we did send aid to Ukraine, weapons, and they sent it to the cartels. We did send them money and then they sent it and then they stole it. We did try to make, because we make cars, we have Ford, Chevy, they have BMW, Mercedes. They send their cars here. We can't send our cars there. But to Russia, we can. There's a bunch of Fords and Chevys in Russia. They don't tariff us. Maybe we need to rethink our global alliances. I think a much better friend and ally to us economically, militarily, is Russia than the European Union. They are stronger. They are braver. They have more natural resources, gas, oil, lumber, coal, whatever you need. And look, listen to this. The European Union, with the population of 500 million, is begging the United States, where there's a population of 350 million, to fund Ukraine, where there's about 20 million people left, to protect the European Union so that we send money to Ukraine so that the 19 or 20 million Ukrainians protect the 500 million Europeans from the 140 million Russians. I'm talking population-wise. Do you guys not see the scam? I see the scam. All of us Trump supporters see the scam. It's the Democrats who just can't see the scam. Ukraine's population today is about 19 million. European Union is 500 million. United States, 350 million. So, and Russia, 140 million. So the 500 million population begging us, along with the Ukrainians, to send money and aid to the 19 million to protect the 850 million, that's America and Europe, from the 140 million. And the ones that are protecting us from them is the population of 19 million. It's a scam. It was a scam from the very beginning. And it was a scam to play the United States more than anyone else. It's not about Russia. It's not about Ukraine. They don't care about Ukraine. They want our money. They want to steal it. And then they want to sell our weapons. They don't care about it. Ladies and gentlemen, but now there's a new sheriff in town. Big Daddy Trump. And he's not playing those stupid games anymore. Do me a huge favor. Smash that thumbs up. God bless you guys. Stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.